Okay, we are back. This morning we went over all sorts of stuff like standardized testing, placement testing, how children learn different styles with that, um, different styles of teaching. Went over a whole bunch of stuff. I had really beautiful slides because that's a workshop I've taught before in conferences. This afternoon we're a little bit more relaxed because I don't have slides for this. I just got some, points, but I'm going to show you how to narrow down your curriculum search. I missed this morning when we were talking about placement tests and how to know what your children need to learn every year. And we were talking about that. I forgot to talk about high school graduation requirements. Each state's, so I wanted to cover that really quick first. Each state is going to decide their own laws, so you'll have to look at your state laws. You can go to Homeschool Legal Defense. If you don't, and then if you have regulation or you have guidelines for that, then you're going to, that's where you're going to work. If you're like me and you have a state that we don't have subject requirements, we don't have testing requirements, and we don't have any graduation requirements, then you're going to need a plan. Now, when I'm making a plan, and that's like with anything, if your state has no subject requirements or portfolios do or anything like that, then you've got to have a plan, and that's where it really gets kind of dicey. So, but you can do it, I promise. For my high schoolers, what I have used is I pulled up Alabama. We're in Alabama. I pulled up Alabama's high school graduation requirements, and I used that as a guide. Now, no, legally, I'm not required to do that. Some parents use a private school that they like, sometimes in other states. Each parent, and I walk parents through setting up a high school graduation requirement all the time. In fact, I think I'm probably going to add a new course in. There's a new segment with Teachable that you can do coaching. So I think I'm going to add that in there so I can help parents go through that. That's a whole nother subject. We're not going to stay there today. I just forgot to include that this morning. Anyway, so see, I'm keeping on track. Narrowing your curriculum search. If you just go and Google homeschool curriculum, there's so much more now than when I started, that you can get very, very overwhelmed. So we're going to work on narrowing that down first. That's what you're going to do. The first thing you need to look at, are you going to want secular curriculum or are you going to want faith-based curriculum? That's your first thing. If you decide which one you want, some people don't care. They want to look at both. Some people want only secular, some want faith-based. That's going to narrow your search down considerably. So that's the first thing that you need to cover. I don't think I have to go into any detail on what the difference is with that. We kind of all know that. Then the second thing you're going to look at is, do you want it online or offline? Now, some children work great online, some don't. I have one that got so behind because he was gaming that I ended up the year he had to do everything in front of me. Then I have other kids who do just fine online and they stay on track. And these are high schoolers, by the way. Very, very young children, I would probably not recommend online as the actual curriculum. Maybe apps or games or something for extra fun. That's what I will do with my kindergartner. She will not be completely online because if I am not there in her beginning years, then how do I know if she's messing up? Especially with learning to read. But that's, So those two things will help narrow down what you want. If you have comments or you have questions, you can put them in the comments. Okay, so where to buy? For one thing, if they're online, they're usually going to be sold by themselves. You're not going to be able to, paperback type curriculum you will find at a distributor or on Amazon or on eBay. But for online, all you're going to have to do is Google it. There's lots and lots of Google stuff. In fact, I'm wondering if I can pull that up real quick. If you give me a second, I have a whole list of online. We'll go there in a minute. there's so much, and I'm not as organized for this one as I was this morning. So anyway, so offline. Some of the big places that you can go and see tons and tons of stuff is Rainbow Resources, Christian Book Distributor. Um, those are the two biggies. They're almost like, you remember the telephone books when you were little, if you're not too young, where they had the really thick book. Every, we all call people on the phone, and we talk about the telephone book and sitting on it when we're driving and stuff like that. Rainbow Resources catalog is like that. In fact, it overwhelms me. I can't look at it. They would used to send me one every year, and I would give it away or beg people to give it away. We actually did a expo one time. This is way back in the day before people were really online as much as they are now. And they sent us in cases for the expo, and it's like this. It was huge. So there's tons and tons of stuff out there. So if you listen to this morning and you kind of decide what learning style you want, Rainbow Resources, Amazon is a huge place to go to. eBay, finding used. I recommend that you go used, because in the first year when you're trying to decide what your child works best with, less money involved, the better. So you can buy it used, and then if you don't like it, you can sell it. Sometimes it can take a little bit to figure that out. So anyway, offline, tons of stuff out there. Let me think, I'm trying to look. I still have that tab. I was going to say I was going to share my tab, but I don't see it. That's the only issue with StreamYard, is I cannot share things easily. I wanted to do something where I could draw, but it doesn't even give me that option. So anyway, online you can Google, let's say you want secular curriculum online. OutSchool is huge. There's probably other ones. That one is the big one that comes to mind, because I know that basically it's like I don't know what to call it. Each teacher can have a different flavor, but the company itself is secular. They have teachers that are hired. They teach different things on there. Some may be more faith-based, some may be not. You just have to read, and have a conversation with the teacher. But those are live classes. My girls use teaching textbooks. It's a math. Most maths will be secular or secular spin. Master books is faith-based. Those are offline. Abeka can be online or offline. They've been around forever. Bob Jones is offline, but they come with videos that you can rent. So sometimes you can have a mix. I have a mix with my kids. We have some companies that we use that are online, some are off. Let's see. In fact, I will post under this video a list of online that I know of, because I've got that. That's a workshop that I'll put in the Lifetime Access on outsourcing education, because that is something I do with my high schoolers. Most of my high schoolers have some type of online, not everything, but some type of online class where someone else is teaching. My girls, my two high schoolers, are doing a research paper with a professor that lives in my city. You can do that. That is an option. Especially when it's not a subject that you're strong in. Let's see what else. Y'all can ask questions. I mean, that will help me with this completely, because it's hard to know what you need if I don't know. Let's see. So we're talking about where to buy. So you narrow it down. Then you can start to Google. You can ask mamas in your local area. A lot of times I do a curriculum zoo where we call it a curriculum petting zoo, so that you can come in and look. If you're in a larger city, you may be able to find a used bookstore who has stuff, or a homeschool bookstore. I like to look before I buy. Let's see, what else do we have? So you can do secular. There are some other resources for secular that I will put in there. Secular is not as easy to find. It's there. It's just, well, maybe it is easier to find. You can actually, you can buy school books if you want to use school books from your school. Those will be secular. You can buy, there are getting to be more homeschool curriculum vendors that are secular. They're getting to be more. There's not as much. And then most curriculum, a lot, I mean, some can be very, very faith-based. Some can be very middle road. Apologia um, is a little not completely middle road. Don't ever think that they are faith-based, but they include all the theories in most of their science books, at least the high school ones. They're very thorough. High school, probably one of the better science curriculums that I know of, but they do include all theories, so be aware of that. Let's see what else. So I can give you some ideas of what I use for mine. I have ages, all ages. There's my kindergartner. We are using the Good and Beautiful phonics for her kindergarten level. She'll do the primer and then she'll do the regular kindergarten. I'm actually probably need to test her because she may not even need the primer. Math wise, we are using, what's the math we're using? Math with Confidence. It's a new one by Katie Snow. She is a homeschool math whiz and mom. And it's a new one. The Good and Beautiful has math, and I've heard good things about it for littles, but it only goes to second or third grade. I don't really like that with math too much. It's when I picked math for my big ones, I picked one that went all the way through, and he started in kindergarten. It was Matthew C. We did not last all the way through because he had issues. Now we use teaching textbooks online. They also have offline, so if you would prefer a workbook. But for me, math is not my strong suit, so I don't want to spend all my time struggling. It is one of my struggles is math, and so we use that with the big girls. My oldest girl is in pre-cal. I can't help her. What happens when you can't help your child anymore? You hire a tutor, and that is okay. Or you can go like Matthew C., which is an awesome curriculum. They actually have online classes now. Most of the big math companies have online classes. Now, they're pricey, but I mean, if you're struggling with math and you just can't teach yourself how to do it. I mean, I did. I taught myself with my kids a lot of years until we hit upper high school. And that at that point I had Lacey, and it was not worth it to me to struggle and have a newborn. So I outsourced is what you call it. Then language arts, we use the Good and Beautiful. I love the elementary years. I don't like the high school too much. It's not as it was very unorganized, and they were not ready for that. So it was a struggle for me. So we don't use that for high school, but I love it for elementary. What else? What else do we use? I have one sitting by me right now here. She's playing Minecraft. Minecraft is big. That's one of my extras I'm going to put in the lifetime access is homeschooling with Minecraft. We had a work. It is educational. You can find educational. The one that she's doing right now, she's learning about bees and going through Minecraft. Somebody set it up. In fact, this may become a project this year.
When you look at Minecraft, you can look up the world, and it has a section called educational.
When you look on, this is the Minecraft on the phone. When you look up the world, they have a section called educational. She says, see, I didn't know that. They are in trouble. I'm smelling a project this year. I'm going to see, I'm smelling a project. I'm like, they may decide to dislike Gabriella for telling Mama that is an option. But yeah, I highly recommend, hand me those Minecraft books there. Highly recommend thinking outside the box. You can think outside the box, especially with high school. My son was on the tech and video and audio stuff at the church, and he learned so much that we counted that as a credit. So anyway, you see, this is for this year. That's new. These only came out not too long ago. See, you can totally think outside the box with curriculum and learning. There is a group, if you're outsourcing and you want to outsource and you want to do stuff online, there is a group called Scrafty, and they have classes in Minecraft, and you can go on, and that's outsourcing, like OutSchool, but you'll go in You have to have the computer version Minecraft, but you can go in and join and do their classes. They have like chemistry and history and stuff like that. So, outsourcing is a very new, really, it's not overly new, but I mean, it's a newer field in homeschooling that I am loving, especially with middle schoolers and high schoolers. I like to keep them interested in what they're doing, active in what they're doing. Um, and sometimes it just helps for them to take a break from mama. So let's see. I'm thinking, what else do I want to tell you? I can talk curriculum all day long. I can talk all about it, but it's hard to organize it when I don't know what you need. So you can get paperback. And when you're looking at the paper, if you decide that you want offline curriculum, try to look for ones that are written by homeschoolers. And the reason I'm going to tell you that is because usually the ones that are written by homeschoolers are more homeschool mom friendly. Most of the time, they are going to have the lesson plan already included. You just have to take it and put it into your notes. I'm always really bad about lesson planning. I kind of get a mental idea, and I never write because I'm like Apologia. We used Apologia for many years for the kids, and it had 3 days a week, and it had the plan in the kids' workbook, what days and what they were supposed to do. Most histories for elementary will be 2 days a week, and most of the time when you buy one written by homeschoolers, it's going to have the plan there. Math may not have the plan, may or may not have the plan. The Good and Beautiful, not too well, but other groups do. I mean, it just depends on language arts. When you're buying language arts, they're not always complete sets. Sometimes you will have to buy bits and pieces like grammar, writing, literature, and you'll have to buy different sources. The Good and Beautiful, I like it because it kind of combines everything, and I'm not buying 2 or 3 curriculums, and it's levels 1 through 5 are free on their website. You can just download it and copy it and print it. But by the time you buy all the paper and you buy all the ink, it's probably cheaper just to buy the hard set. So that's how elementary. With high school, you'll usually have science or history every day. That's just how it is with high school. But with a high schooler, you can kind of group it. Like you could do science one year and just scrunch it all into the thing, and do science, history in the other. And you can treat it like it's a college class instead of just every day. So that is a complete option too. So those are some of the things I've used. I have a friend who has used Bob Jones for years. That was about $1,000 a year, and it came with videos and workbooks and textbooks. So that was very traditional. Charlotte Mason has that style learning, has Ambleside Online, which is free. All the way up through 12th grade. All you have to do is go to the website, and it has everything there. Easy Peasy is online and free. The younger levels will have some workbooks so you don't have to print it. You can just buy it off Amazon. I have actually done an interview with her, and she is the sweetest lady ever. So hers is free, and it's actually based on Georgia Virtual Academy, I believe, before they switched some things over. So I think she took it down. The Georgia Virtual Academy is secular. She is faith-based, so she will have in the beginning of her sections what she believes, but then you can go do all the work, and it's basically secular. So I mean, it's kind of like the best of both worlds. But she's very, very kind woman. Legals. Let's see. There are lots of paid sites out there you can do. Time for Learning. It's a paid online. It goes kindergarten all the way up. So it's like no matter what you've got going on, you can find something to fit. Let's see. I don't see any questions. I don't see any questions. So we'll end this out. This is basically how to narrow your search. I will post some links that I talked about today, and I will post a list of the online curriculum that you can find. And if you have questions, let me know. It's just there's so much out there. It's a hard subject, but anyway. So let me know what you need with it. We have homeschool question and answer this afternoon. We can get on there. We can talk about curriculum all afternoon. And I will actually be able to screen share easier than I can here. I mean, I could actually show you and help you find things. So you're welcome to do that. You can find that in the units. I think every day has the link, and all you have to do is pick what time you want. So we can talk all about curriculum all afternoon. I like it. But have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.